All right, ladies and gentlemen, here you are. Here I am. You're huddled around your iPad, your iPhone. You're sitting in behind the wheel of your car. You're going for a jog. Maybe you're on your treadmill and you're listening to the shining, smooth, silky. Yeah, I'm not a late night DJ. This is Tracy Briegman. Welcome to another episode of Your Success at Last Tips to Improve Performance series. I'm going to try something different over the next few weeks, and I want to start you off with that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try some shorter shows. I know some of the shows I've given you have been rather long, sometimes 10 minutes. I think we've gone as long as 45 minutes in the past, either here on Blog Talk World with the show. So we're going to try something a little different. We're going to maybe a little shorter now and again, but we're going to try giving it to you a little more often, give you some of that ongoing doses of I can do it, some positive motivational tips and techniques. We're going to cover some topics ranging from, I don't know, motivation, success, goal setting. Heck, you know what? I'll talk about just about anything. We even go into presentation tips, leadership tips, employee management tips, thinking creatively, how to motivate other people, achieving excellence. We're just going to cover the gamut. If you have ideas of what you want to hear about, send me an email. I'll be happy to line them up for you. You can shoot me an email at Tracy, Tracy, at successatlas.com, and we'll get that going. But this week, what we're going to talk about are the next 5 topics are going to be on, well, we can talk about one of the key success tips I'm going to give you, and that's going to be today's show. We're going to hold on. We'll get to that in a minute. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about putting your I can'ts to rest. May they rest in peace forever. Then on Wednesday, we're going to go over the 3 fundamental tenets for success. You're going to want to hear about those. Then we're going to cover one of my favorite topics. We're going to go into goal setting objectives, the top 10 ways to stay focused on those. We're going to save the actual goal setting for a later time. And then on Thursday, I want to tell you about a story I love, and it's not my story. It's a story I've heard and has been told many times in the past. It's called The Acres of Diamonds. So I want to talk to you about mining your acres of diamonds. And then on Friday, we're going to chat a little bit about overcoming the plight of procrastination. All great tips and topics you're going to want to listen to. So we're going to give you a little bit of tips on those over the course of the week. So hopefully you'll keep tuning in. But today we're going to talk about that one key to success: positive emotions. Do you want to be more positive in all the areas of your life? I mean, emotionally, yeah, but with your friends, you want to be more positive. With your employees, you want to be more positive. With your boss, would you like to be more positive with your boss? How about with your health, your well-being, your feelings of success and happiness? Well, of course you want to be more positive, because one of the key things that you're going to need to utilize to unlock your flight to success is positive emotional energy. That feeling of happiness that comes from inside. You really only get it from doing things you love, and possibly from people around you that you love, people you care about, getting involved with things. Maybe it's your puppy, maybe it's your cat. There's something that you just connect with. It's all about you. I mean, because think about it for a moment. Have you had one of those days where something really good happened to you? I mean, you got that job, she said yes or he said yes, and that yes could have been about going out with you. You finally got up the gumption and you said, hey, would you like to go out, man? She said, yeah, and you're like, woohoo, I'm a champion, I'm on top of the world, right? Or it could have been anything else important to you. It could have been, like I said, it could have been getting that job, getting that important date. That yes could have been about, hey, will you marry me? I've had the blessed, I just celebrated 20 years, ladies and gentlemen, of having my charming wife say yes to me 20 years ago. Of course, I had to ask her to marry me twice, but that's a whole other story. We'll save that for another time. But along with all that happy, all that smiling, all that bright-eyed feelings comes that excited energy. On the other side of that same coin is a vacuum of no energy. And that comes from, the quite the opposite. Those unpleasant things happening to you, from losing that job, from being stood up on that date, from someone saying no to that all-important question, coming back to the puppies and the animals, losing a loyal pet you've had forever. And we had a pet Tangy. She was around a long, long time, 15 plus years. My youngest daughter, I mean, literally grew up with this dog. And let me tell you, it was quite crushing when we had to say goodbye. So on both sides, there's an energy that comes along with that. I mean, you can see the pattern. Your emotions either provide you with energy or they suck it out of you. Positive emotions provide a pool of excited, charged energy, while the negative emotions kind of pull the plug on your pool, and that energy just kind of swirls down the drain, right? When your emotions are positive, you kind of sparkle, like tingling with you sparkle with enthusiasm and with that energy. You interact more with people around you, and you believe it or not, they actually positively respond to you because you even think more creatively. I mean, it's just you're willing to go out there and put yourself out there, and people are willing to interact with you. You're able to, they feel you, they're connecting with your vibe. However, again, on the other side, when you're depressed or angry or negative for any reason, and it doesn't matter whether that reason is valid or not, you're going to feel tired. You're going to feel listless, frustrated, burn out. You're going to be on edge, more irritable. I mean, the list of things just goes on and on and on. Your body actually has a ladder of energy where when you're not doing physical labor, it takes approximately about 1,000 units of physical energy to operate your body in all its essential systems, all the things that keep your mind thinking, keep your eyes seeing, keep your ears hearing, keep your heart pumping, keep your lungs processing the oxygen, about 1,000 units. Your body, in its intelligent design, will convert one level of conserved energy up into the next level when it's unused. So when you're not using that level of energy, it will convert it up to a level of conserved energy. Now, those 1,000 units of physical energy can also be refined by your body to create 100 units of emotional energy. Let me repeat that. 1,000 units of physical energy convert into 100 units of emotional energy. So this is far more refined. This emotional energy is absolutely critical to your healthy, excuse me, my tongue tripped over my eye teeth and I couldn't see what I was saying. Here, it's far more refined, this emotional energy is, and it's absolutely critical to healthy and emotional functioning. I mean, and if you do not consume your emotional energy units, so to speak, I'm making little rabbit ears in the air with my fingers you can't see, via some sort of expression of emotions, like negative emotions, fear, anger, doubt, or even resentment, then they're conserved. Again, this conserved energy can be refined up to the next level. 100 units of conserved emotional energy will be refined and converted into 10 units of mental energy. This mental energy enables you to think more openly and more creatively. An example of an energy robbing potential of negative emotions is anger. Okay, so now you've taken your 1,000 units of physical energy and you've converted it into 100 units of emotional energy, and you also have the potential of converting that 100 units of emotional energy into 10 units of mental, positive, open, creative energy. However, stuff like anger is going to suck you down. I mean, have you ever seen someone so angry with someone else or with something else? I mean, it could be a company, a situation, that they're literally shaking their body, their hands. They're shaking like they're cold. The shaking is the anger inside their body burning up that sugar-based energy called glucose. So that energy I've been talking about is just really being sucked up by the emotion. This depletion of energy keeps it from being conserved, keeps it being refined so it can be used as emotional or mental energy. Thus, they are literally weakening themselves in more ways than one as they allow these angry flare-ups. Now, successful people are more productive. They're not just because they're working more hours, but because they're working smarter hours. And more often than not, they get more done in the same period of time than an average person. Thus, they usually get paid more, and quite often they're the ones that get promoted faster than the average person, etc., etc., etc. We've all heard it. We know the mantra. You heard like Brian Tracy says, "Come in an hour early and stay an hour later." And I think when inside those hours, you want to work smarter because sure, an extra 2 hours a day is going to help you. But if you take the 8 hours that you work, or in that case of the Brian Tracy says, the 10 hours that you apply yourself, and you apply yourself intelligently, avoiding all the water cooler gossip, and you want to hang out with your friends, go down with them for lunch, spend your hour at lunch, bond, interact. But when you're working, get in there and work. Okay, so now this is the kind of people that do this. They become role models for fellow associates, and eventually they usually become leaders for those very people. And they become highly respected, and they're esteemed, and they rise to the top of their field, and usually become in the upper range of the income of the field that they choose. Now, and I'm talking to you. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'm a little crazy, but I want you to realize you can be one of these highly respected, highly paid, and highly esteemed leaders. But to do this, though, you're going to need to take some pointers from successful people. And I'm not just talking about me. There are far more smarter people than I that have pointed out these types of things. I just happen to be the one sharing with you today. Points, don't take them too personally, but think about them. Successful people don't take things personally, right? Successful people also tend to avoid getting drawn into other people's issues and arguments, right? Avoid the drama. I have two daughters, two beautiful young ladies now. One's in her early 20s, one's in her late teens. One got sucked into the drama, one did not. And let me tell you, as a father on the outside looking in, this was two entirely different experiences from my side. I can only imagine what it was from their side. Okay, not getting sucked into this drama saves the energy, allowing you to be far more productive, and you can use it for far more productive purposes. It can be conserved and converted into that higher level energy, and you can use it. Right? They also learned the benefits of relaxation. Successful people know it's good to relax. They take periods of time off from their work. They don't always spend it in an exotic location. A lot of the rich and the famous do. We hear all those great stories. We see all those pictures and stuff. But sometimes it's just chilling around the house. What do you do for fun? Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you listen to people like me babbling on the microphone for 10, 15 minutes, right? What is it that you like to do to relax? Do you like to just play a family game with your kids, with your spouse, play some cards, go watch a movie, go for a stroll, take your dog for a walk, whatever it takes? Allow your physical body to relax. At some point of your success, you're probably not working your physical body as hard, but you're working your mental and emotional capacities to a point of failure. You've got to give it time to recharge. So the aim of this period of rest and relaxation is to recharge your mental and emotional batteries so you can improve your quality of life. What a great idea, right? Okay. Now, one of the last points before I make this one of the long shows again that I want to share with you is that successful people have learned to keep themselves calm far longer than the average person has. And you've seen them, right? You've seen those people that get so emotionally charged about one topic or another, and you're sitting there thinking, dude, really? Are you serious? Or maybe you're the person that's saying, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, you don't want to be that person. I'm just saying there's always a time to be mad, to be upset, to be overly emotional, but learn to be a little calm a little longer. It's like bravery. They say courage isn't being braver than the next man, but maybe being braver than the next man for another minute, just a single minute, maybe 30 seconds. And I think I heard one time it's just courage is being braver than the next man for 10 more seconds. That's it. 10 seconds can make a difference. Anyway, my military experience is about ready to come out. I'll share that for another episode. They keep themselves calm a little bit longer than the average person. They have refined and conserved the physical energy into emotional energy so that they're more relaxed and they're more amenable and they're in control of their emotions. They have become aware that flare-ups, the ones I've discussed and the ones that you've all seen happen over time, right?
they rob you of that precious mental state and those mental resources that you need to be effective and to get the important things done. The important things done. Remember that, okay? They've come, and I want you to become. They know by avoiding becoming angry, or updates, or upset over the trivial things that life kind of tosses at you, the little darts that tend to poke at you. Life, just you're the dartboard and life's throwing darts at you. You either bob and weave or you get stuck. And if you get stuck, sometimes you just got to learn not to pop. Okay? Don't get upset over those trivial things that life keeps throwing at you. And then over the larger things, you got to learn to absorb them. Learn to take on the stress. Stress is a conditioning. You can take on the stress. Don't take on too much, but you can learn to become more stress bearing, right? You can learn to temper yourself. All right. They they Successful people tend to remain steadfast and objective and even a bit detached so they can react, resolve, replan, and remove the issue. Isn't that what it's all about? Reacting, resolving, replanning, and removing the issue. All right. So I'm going to close you off with some actions you can take, maybe some things you can do, follow some points, right? Right. These are actions you can do, and results will be those that hopefully other successful people are seeing, and you can be rewarded with them too. I want to take you some specific actions so you can put them in your life right away. So it's not just all woo-woo stuff that you can say, "Ooh, yeah, great talk, Tracy," but what am I supposed to do with it? What I want you to do is I want you to keep your thoughts focused on your goals and aspirations. What are your goals? And if you don't have goals, you should get some. And if you don't know what those goals are, that's your first goal, is to sit down and write down what it is you want to do with your life. What it is you want to do next week, next month, next year, next 5 years, next 10 years. Slow down, Tracy. I can't keep up. Okay? What are your goals? What do you want to do? And that goal could be far away. I want to make $10 billion. Or I just want to be a good dad. Or maybe it's both. All right, I want to raise my child in a safe and secure environment. All right, I want to make the world a better place. Whatever your goal is, it's yours. Avoid getting sucked into the energy draining path of people and situations that generate negative emotions and stress. Avoid it. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but I'm saying this is an important skill to master. Okay, now, when you do find yourself in a situation of difficulty or pressure, and you will, let's be honest, it's life. That dart's going to hit you one time, maybe right squarely in the cheek, man. Ow! Okay? Remain calm and try to stay positively focused. I'm not saying always look for that silver lining, but if you're always staying in a positive focus, you can get through it. Avoid becoming angry, or worse yet, enraged. You need to conserve your energy so you can turn it and focus it on the goals and aspirations that you really desire. You want to change your life, right? You got to do the right things to make that happen. I mean, even in the most difficult situation, have some positive aspect. Perhaps your time is spent zeroing in on that aspect and how you can use it to your advantage. And there are going to be those times that you're going to say, man, there is no positive. Yeah, there's always some kind of positive. I just challenge you to find out what it is. I mean, when I lost my father a few years ago, what kind of positive can you get from that, Tracy? I mean, seriously? This man was an awesome guy. He was a lifelong person sergeant in the military. Just taught me reams and reams of things. Oh my God. There's the positive. A, I got to know that man. B, he got to show me parts of the world, tell me stories of the other parts that I didn't get to go. Korea, right? Vietnam. He taught me things, taught me the value of being a man, of protecting your family, of caring for your family. I walked away with those positive aspects. Walked to his funeral. Yeah, I cried. Yeah, I wept. But the point was, I had a positive, I want to call it a spin, but I had a positive view that, you know what? As I grew up, I knew a great man. He taught me great things. And hopefully, I can fill his big shoes with what I do. Lastly, as I mentioned earlier, you need to get good rest. I don't want you to be cheap about it. You need to get a good amount of sleep. Ample, right? Sometimes it's going to be 4 hours. Sometimes it's going to be 10, depending on what you're putting your body through. Get the right amount of sleep on a regular basis. That's a key point. I want you to top that off with your little breaks that we talked about, right? Your time away, your mental and emotional relaxation times. I mean, because you're working your brain. You're figuring out the next thing. How to make my family better? How to make my life better? How do I do great things with my life, Tracy? Okay? You need to take time and let your brain go, phew, that was a great idea. That was some great actions we took this week. Now I need to sit down and recharge my batteries so that next week I can go do it again. Well, hopefully you got a little bit out of this. This one ran a little long, gave a little introduction. I'm going to trim these back a little bit so we're not sucking up so much of your time, so I can hit you with these daily, so you'll hang around with me a bit more. Please send me some of your tips. Tracy at successatlas.com. Tracy at successatlas.com. Once again, tongue tripping over my eye teeth. I got to move those eye teeth out of the way. Send me the kind of things you'd like to hear about. What do you think as you listen to the dailies this week in the next couple of weeks? What do you think about them? Good, bad? Should I go back to once a week? Let me know. Tracy at successatlas.com. And until then, as always, I'm going to sign off by saying think successfully and take action. Bye.